What's going on, people? Welcome to episode 70. We made it. Oh, shit. Fucking breaking my damn setup already. What's going on, guys? Episode 70. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday. There may or may not be an episode on Thursday. The episode today is going to be a little bit shorter. I'm happy I even got around to posting a podcast for you guys. Frankly, the simple reason is because it is midterm week and I have a bunch of midterms that I have to get done before I go on spring break. So I have to kind of steer my focus into the schoolwork. Since I am in school, I do have to focus on that. So I'm going to put up a clip on Friday. There's going to be a clip on Monday. So I'm doing Fridays and Mondays for clips. So if you missed any of the podcasts and you just want to watch like a little sneak peek or like a 5 to 20 minute clip on whatever the subject matter is, make sure you like those. Make sure you click on those. They're not on audio, so they're just on YouTube, so you guys can go ahead and watch them there. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me on episode 70. It's pretty insane to think that I've already put out 69 of these things, and this is number 70. I didn't really imagine this is where we would be. I didn't really picture that this is where we would be at this time frame. I really thought that, like, I know how bad I wanted to do a podcast, but I didn't think it was gonna get to this point so quickly. So I'm very proud of that, and I'm very thankful for that. And I know you guys are the reason why it keeps going, and the reason why I keep posting is just because people keep listening. And if people didn't keep listening, then I clearly would not keep posting. So thank you so much for all that support you guys show me every day. I appreciate it a lot. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, like I said, please like, comment, subscribe. If you guys are watching this on audio, make sure you do go ahead and post. You leave it a rating, a written rating, or just put it like 5-star, 1-star, whatever you think the podcast is, whatever the value it brings to you. I know a lot of people say I just kind of say what's on my mind, and I think that's an important thing, and I think that's why the podcast is growing. And frankly, I think that's why a lot of people enjoy listening to it. But I didn't really come in here with a topic I wanted to talk about, but I did kind of want to go over a few things, more serious things. I think it's going to be more of a serious topic. I was watching a movie called Bombshell. So I was watching it with my girlfriend, and I was watching it with my girlfriend. And the premise of the movie is about sexual harassment towards females. And as I'm watching it, I feel a lot of anger. I get a little upset because I don't know how I want to go around this. I think so. I always tell people I would hate to be a girl. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of advantages there are to being a girl, just like there's a lot of advantages of being a guy. But there's a lot of things that I think as men we don't realize, and I'm a man speaking from this perspective, and I'll have my girlfriend probably on, and we'll probably talk about this. But I know I'm just a man speaking from this perspective. But I think a lot of people don't think that I should even have a voice in this. But I think I should have a voice in this, and I do think I will have a voice in this. One thing I did want to say real quick. So that last podcast I uploaded was the coronavirus podcast, and it's interesting because once you start getting monetized on YouTube, you can upload onto YouTube, and then they can demonetize your video. And then if you request a review, it basically 100% of the time comes back, oh, your video is eligible for money, which is always fascinating because YouTube has a system where if they have an algorithm that's set up, and if you say anything or do anything, or I guess hand signal anything that falls into that category real quick, it automatically ciphers out the video, and now the ball is in your field. And if you believe that what they demonetize your video, if you believe that it's wrong and they made a wrong decision because they didn't actually do any knowledge. They didn't actually dig deep into why they demonetized it. They just demonetized it because it kind of fell in one of the subcategories. You can hit review, and then they review it, and pretty much I've had one video before that came back and they still wouldn't monetize it. But the coronavirus one was interesting because I haven't listened to it back yet, but I don't think I said anything that was completely outrageous. Like, I don't think I said anything that was so offensive or anything that was like, really fucked up or anything, anything I think that deserved to be demonetized. I didn't really make fun of anybody. I just kind of said what a few like stupid conspiracies I had about it. I've requested a review and they still didn't get monetized. So I don't know if there's other people out there who did any videos or podcasts about coronavirus. But I know I did, and it didn't get monetized, which could just be, there could be no connection to it, and I could just be crazy. But I really think that there's some type of weird shit going on with that, where it's like, if you speak about coronavirus, you get like in trouble in a weird way. But then again, I could just be completely losing my mind, and that could be completely false. But I don't know. I thought it was an interesting time because this is right where I think I put that video up on Thursday. So this was right when Corona was really taking off, and now it's like it's gone away from like a medical issue to just kind of like a culture movement right now. Where I think I know people are dying, and I know you shouldn't speak upon that. I know it's kind of fucked up to say, but at the same time, I don't know if it's as insane as people say it is. And if that's the case, if it's not as aggressive as people say it is, well, goddamn, it's doing a lot of damage to the world in the sense of economically. And, it's really putting a damper on a lot of economies across the world. A lot of conflict between people. Again, it's weird. Like, Perel is all sold out. It's hard for schools and businesses to get soap. It's just a weird situation. Anyways, so if this video might get demonetized, and if it gets demonetized, and I can't request for a review and get it checkmarked, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say about how YouTube monetizes videos, but that could be a dangerous. I don't know. We shall see. We'll see what happens. But so we're watching this, and basically the whole plot of this movie is Fox News, and how Fox News for a while was running a ship that involved a lot of sexual coercing between the females and the males. It was a very toxic environment when it comes to sexual exploitation. Now, there's a weird situation here, right? Because just like in everything, there's always going to be a competition to be the head honcho of any business, right? And the truth of the matter is, as a female, and if your male's your boss, there could definitely, very possibly, be a situation where your male boss is going to try to make sexual advances on you, and in return, you will get a promotion, right? And there are plenty of females that, and as they should, they voluntarily say, okay, right? If that's what they want to do, if they're okay with that and they're not uncomfortable with that, then, right, they should be allowed to do that. But then there's a lot of situations where you've been going to college for, 4 years, maybe you got a master's degree in journalism or whatever this doesn't even have to be. This isn't about the movie per se. This is about just my viewpoint on all this weird shit going on and how it's even becoming like a debate, right? It shouldn't be a debate. It should be a very one-sided thing, and it should be emphasized to stop it, right? That's what it should be like. But there comes these situations like Harvey Weinstein, for example, where you have these people who wield all the power, and you have these young ladies, even young men at times, who want to work their way up in the chain because that's why they went to, that's why they did well in high school, and that's why they chose their degree that they chose in college. And their dream job is to just work for this company and constantly grow, right? And then you run into somebody who has all that power. They are the boss. They're your CEO. They have your dreams are at the hands of them, right? They can make you or break you. So they have all this power. And then you run into some of these men, some of these even females, some of these people will use that power and leverage it for sexual acts, right? And it gets really, really, it gets really shaky, because it's not just about the job. It's about this weird thing that society has done as a whole. We've spent so much time turning our eyes to these very subtle remarks made by men and female towards men and female. And it's from my experience, it makes a lot of girls almost just, and men once again, just kind of accept that it is the way it is, right? And that in order to really move up in the world, you just kind of got to finagle your way through these creeps, through these monsters, through these perverts, right? And it's sad. It's sad to watch. It's sad to watch this TV show, and nothing can ever be done so much that there is a sense of justice for the females, right? Because if you're a dude, and if you ever had a real conversation with your girlfriend or any girl that you possibly know, and if you can actually stop acting like a child for a second, and you can actually listen to what they've had to go through, I guarantee all the girls in your life, personally, have a story. And I guarantee that their stories are not shared because the sense of it doesn't matter, or because the sense of no one's going to listen, or in the sense of if I say something, what I say might affect my career in the future, right? And it's sickening to see, because I know people who have to deal with this all the time, and there should be something done. There honestly should be, boys, because I don't think you're a man if you're talking to women like they're objects, right? That's not what a man does. That's what a child does, That's what a child does. That's what that's what a piece of shit does, right? There's a difference. I think there's a difference. There's always a blurred line, but when you hold a sense of power, the only thing that should ever come into conversation is your ability to do your job, right? And it's sad. It's sad because I know that there's plenty of men out there, plenty of boys out there who are in the situation right now where they spend their whole life objectifying women, and they don't realize the damage that they're doing upon certain girls, and the damage that they have done as society as a whole. It's people don't like things when people get upset when things start affecting them, right? So you see throughout the world a lot of men just like bitching and complaining that girls are just asking for all these things. They want these rights. They want this. They want that. And you hear a lot of it's not just between sex, it's between races too. You hear white men saying all lives matter instead of black lives matter, instead of realizing that that's not the message, and that's an interesting topic too. That when people say Black Lives Matter, what they're saying is not that your life doesn't matter and my life matters more than you. It's, hey, look at us. We are systematically going through there's systematic racism towards my community, to the African community all the time. And by you saying all lives matter, you are trumping, no pun intended, you are trumping my movement, and we're back to square root. We're back to square root one. And this is, and the worst part is about this is, if you asked me 3 years ago before I started educating myself on these things, I probably would have agreed with a lot of people. I probably would agree that all lives matter. I probably would have agreed that women do have a lot of rights, but that's not the point. The point is not that certain groups have less rights than other groups. That's not the message. The message is you have to recognize that we're here, right? You have to recognize that we're here. I couldn't imagine having to grow up as a girl, and I know I sound very dramatic right now, but I'm saying it because I truly fucking mean it. I think a lot of men are so ignorant and just think that it's so easy because they haven't had to deal with trying to get a new job and boom, you're there for a week, and for the next month, someone in the kitchen is like touching your butt or making sly remarks at you or putting their hand up against the wall while you're trying to walk by, or just these acts, or like you can't walk across the street because there's a group of guys over there, and if you do, they're going to at least maybe not attack you, but they will make remarks that will make you uncomfortable. And it's not always about the safety, right? Because that's the most extreme case. The most extreme case is something extreme happens and the person is affected, they're grabbed, or something that makes their safety go out the window. That's not what people are saying. People are so fucking dumb to realize that, that's the only issue. As long as the guy doesn't say something stupid. No, it's not about that. It's about the guilt that comes on top of that. It's about when a woman is going through school and they are going through jobs and these men are making advances on them. They're saying things that are inappropriate and the woman will say no, no, no. Or if the guy does accomplish something without the woman actually saying yes, that was okay, then there's a sense of guilt. Then you're dealing with the girl now who's like, fuck, why did I give off that perception? In reality, they didn't give off that perception, but in their head they did, because you want to so badly say that it wasn't your fault, but if it happens so much, so repeatedly, you start feeling insane. And then so the only person you look at is yourself. Right? So if I went to job, if I was a girl and I kept on going to work and my boss kept on making these sly remarks at me, like, fuck him, why is he doing that? And then my coworker says something stupid to me, like says something about my legs, and fuck him, what are you talking about? And then on the way home from work, and this is all in the same day, someone cat calls me. Well, what the fuck is he talking about? Oh, wait, maybe it's me. Maybe I shouldn't be wearing this outfit. Maybe I shouldn't be looking at them this way, right? And then you have a guilt complex. Then you're dealing with a serious issue. You're walking down a path that's not a good path. It's really sad. It really is sad. And for me personally, I try so hard to when a woman comes around me, or if I'm talking to a girl, I try so hard to make them realize how I don't flirt with girls, right? I don't flirt with women. It's not my MO. I never have before I had a girlfriend, or definitely not while I have a girlfriend. It's never been my thing, right? I've never been a flirting kind of guy. I'd never really seen the point of it. I've never really seen, it's just a weird thing that humans do, right? It's a weird thing. And that's my opinion. I know I say that a lot and people look at me like I have 8 heads, because I think for a lot of people it's completely normal to flirt. And I think it is completely normal to flirt, but it's just never been my thing. I don't like we know what's ultimately the reason why people flirt is, and I just don't I don't know. It's a waste of my time personally. But it's sad because as a guy like me who doesn't make girls feel uncomfortable, or would never say things to belittle women, to make them feel like a small person, or make them feel like that they ever did anything wrong, I feel like, and this could just be this could just be me speaking, which clearly it is, but you know what I'm trying to say. I feel like I have to make up for all the fucking shit that person went through all day, right? I feel like it's my job to make them feel comfortable and make them realize, no, you're you can, it's fine. I'm not going to make an advance on you, because I think so much in everybody's life, they're always so afraid about somebody making an advance on them at some point. And if they do, then they're stuck with a question of, oh, do I give in or do I not give in? I know this is a topic that people don't like to talk about, because whenever I do say to people, it's like, oh, well, that's just nature. That's what people do. That's how men interact. We don't mean any harm by it. And you hear that one a lot. I don't mean any harm by it. I'm just saying, look at you. You're a good looking person. I don't mean any harm by you, by what I'm saying about your, whatever, your jeans or your legs or whatever it is. I don't mean any harm by it, bro. Chill, man. Really, you took it that way? Hey, yo, asshole, of course you meant it that way, right? Of course you meant it that way. But it's not, it's something that needs to be spoken about. it's unacceptable to do that. It's unacceptable to say things to women, to men, to anybody, if the intention is not from a good place. If the intention is just to fuck them, like, that's messed up. Like, that's, and at the same time, though, there's a fine line. Like, these things are complicated. If a woman wants to have sex with you, absolutely, then, whatever, who cares? And I'm not trying to be the dude who says, oh, let's protect all women. Like, let's protect all women. But if I do come off that way, I don't care that if people look at me like, oh, you're such a fucking, what's that word people use? A prude. I think that's what people say. And if I come off that way, that's totally fine. But I really do think that this is an issue because I see it all the time. It's not about the words. It's about the looks that people give. It's about the things that people say behind each other's back. It's an issue that runs deeper, more than just what is at the surface level. There's a lot of questioning of who am I as a character, as a person. Am I doing something in my life that's indicating that that's what I want? No, and it's sad. It's sad to see because everybody has seen it before and everybody has experienced it before, and it's something that I do think needs to be fucking cut out. And I don't know. I may just sound like a fucking loser for even complaining about it, but after I watched that movie, settlement was like 50 something million, and the dude who actually was sexually harassing these women he got paid more to leave the job. And it's just, I don't know, it's something that I don't see going away, and it's like one of those things that once I do see people start talking about it, the people kind of stop talking about it. And it's always going to be an issue. I assume it's always going to be an issue, but it's always something that I think needs to constantly, it's an issue that cannot go away. It's an issue that has to stay in the public's ear, and it has to keep being drilled into people's fucking brains that this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable, and I hate even listening to people talk about it. Like, sometimes I laugh about it or I go along with it because I don't want to be outcasted. I don't want to look like the fucking loser, and I hate that about myself. Every once in a while I will be like, hey bro, what the fuck? I say that most of the time I'm like, hey man, that was fucked up. Like, that's not cool. I want to treat all women the same way that I'm going to treat my daughter. I want to treat everybody with love and care, and I think that's just my character. I'm a very, very sensitive person. I'm crying all the time. I cry during movies. Even my girlfriend looked at me. She's like, your upper lip quivers before you cry. Like, she's like, I've never seen that before. I'm a very sensitive person, but at the same time, just because I'm sensitive doesn't mean that this isn't a fucking issue. It needs to be fixed, and guys need to speak out on it, right? Because the majority, the people who aren't dealing with it, they need to speak out about it because they can be the marching. They can march side by side. And, I don't want my daughter one day to have to feel like they are asking for catcalls and that what they're wearing means that they deserve to be treated like a fucking object. I don't want to deal with that shit. That's fucked up. And for all the guys out there that you guys do that shit and you guys treat women like fucking objects, you're a piece of shit. You're a fucking child. You're a fucking child. And it's bullshit, and if you're joking around with your friends, maybe that's a different thing, but I don't think it is. I would never. It's fucked up, man, and it's sickening to see. It really is, and that's one of the things that make me dislike people the quickest. If I like somebody, they're a cool person, god damn it, once they start talking about a woman like they're an object. Dude, that's some bullshit, man. I mean, I can't be friends, right? Can't be friends with that shit. Can't be friends with, And there's always, I know it's all about context. And, I've done it, and all of us have done it where we, like, joke around, and it's, I'm not saying that I'm all right and I'm 100% not guilty. We've all made jokes about people. I judge people all the time, and, I'm a piece of shit, too. And I think all of us are pieces of shit a little bit, but I think you have to understand that it is a real issue, and you can't just give up, and you got to keep talking about it, because there's some fucking toxic places, and if you had a kid, you wouldn't want them to deal with that shit. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't want them to have to go through that. And it's not just boys being boys. Like, it's not just boys being boys. Like, boys being boys is fine when you're like talking about a bunch of kids like jumping down a fucking hill off of a tree. That's a boy being a boy. But a boy being a boy sexually harassing a female every single day is not a boy being a boy. That's a fucking pervert sexual harasser being a fucking monster. And it's that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple. There's no complex thing to it, right? There's nothing that needs to be said other than you're a fucking monster, and that's the truth. And it sucks because there are people there are girls who come out and they completely lied about something, and it leads to because there's fucking sociopaths on each side, right? Those who do have to deal with it and those who do it to people. But I think if we can all and this is going to be a really short podcast. This one's just going to be over 30 minutes. I just want to hang out with my girlfriend today. She's on spring break, so. But I think we need to start speaking about it. I think we need to start talking about it more. I think we really need to start being open with each other, being honest with each other. I think, I don't know. It's an important thing to me, and that movie really did light a fire under me, I guess, a little bit. And I'm gonna have my girlfriend on, and we're gonna talk about it because I want her to hear. I want to tell her what guys would rebuttal to what she says. I want to play devil's advocate. I want to do that because I think it's very important to understand both sides of the playing field rather than just one side of the playing field. Dude, I get so many calls from Washington, D.C. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I forgot to do something or if I'm getting calls from Trump because he wants my opinion on something, which would be hilarious, but it also would never happen. But yeah, guys, I'm going to try to upload a podcast on Thursday. We shall see. The only reason why I'm even saying maybe or maybe not is because, like I said, so I am in school, obviously, To Kill a Mockingbird. I hear that. I have to read that book, man. I always feel like I end up all my podcasts just looking at my book collection. I need to read that one and that one and that one and that one. There's so many books. Can you I don't know. Fuck it. Stop. This used to be my collection right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 5. No. 2 books, maybe? I don't know. I've been nailing them down, man. Yeah. So I'm going to try to upload maybe on Thursday, but there's going to be a clip going up on Monday. It's already been up. There's going to be one going up on Friday. So there's going to be plenty of content for you guys. You guys are beautiful people, and I thank you so much for showing me so much love. If you guys are in the stock market, keep your money in there. Warren Buffett says, just because the stock market's doing bad doesn't mean it's going to do bad forever. The stock's going to go back up. Oil thing's going to get worked out. Coronavirus is going to be forgotten in 2 months. We're going to be like, Corona what? And then no one's going to be talking about it. It's going to leave right in time to President Trump making his push for 2020. And he's going to save the stock market because when people come up with these things, their whole goal is to completely trash the dude. I'm not supporting him. I'm not against him, but people want to find these things to trash Trump about. Hey, look, the economy's failing because of you. Hey, you're not taking care of coronavirus because of you. Therefore, it's failing the stock market. He's like, okay, cool, but give me 3 months. And when it goes back up, the people who didn't like me are going to fucking love me because they didn't like me, but they had money in the stock market. They lost money, and I saved the stock market. People got to fucking realize this shit, man. The more you attack another side, the more fuel you give them, and the more people looking at them. And if you can get some of those eyes to switch and they like you, those people, then goddamn, you fucked up. You fucked up. And if you really hate Trump, the last thing you want to do for Trump is feed that dude fire or feed him kindle because he will light a fucking fire in the world because that is what he does. He's always been that way, and he's a fucking crazy maniac, narcissistic human being, but he is the president, and I don't know how Sleepy Joe Biden's going to do, and hilarious that I call him Sleepy Joe Biden. Bernie, I like Bernie. Seems like a cool dude, you know? He seems like the cool grandpa, but I just don't know if he can last 4 years. I wish people were pushing harder for Bernie Sanders, but it looks like the Democrats really, really want Joe Biden to get in there, and we shall see. I don't think anybody's going to beat Trump. Republican or Democrat or independent, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't think anyone's going to beat Trump. His fucking fans are savages. Like, he has fans, not supporters, right? Like, every president has supporters, but that motherfucker has goddamn fans, like, fanatic about him. People love themselves from Trump. It's unique. It's a unique time we live in, guys. That's probably going to be it for the podcast. Just a shorter podcast. Nothing crazy. Shorter one. Thank you guys so much for listening. Like I said, leave it a like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Just over 30 minutes long. I'm going to bring you guys a 40-minute podcast next Tuesday. I might bring you something on Thursday. If I do, it's going to be a shorter one. Once again, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys leave a written rating, and a 5-star rating on podcast, Apple, and Spotify. Listen to that new Lil Uzi Vert album. It's really good. Guys, I love you so much. Thank you. I'll see you guys later.